I've looked you up and I've seen what you do for a living. You know, we're not going to state it here because I don't want to dox you, but you're obviously a clever woman. You know, you've been through school and university. You probably make decent money. Are you married? You have kids? Like, where are you in your life right now? Because you said that you're a 32-year-old woman, but I didn't get much more from you aside from that.
I'm in a long-term relationship.
Okay. And how's that going for you?
Really, really good.
Okay. And why are you coming to my videos and my book if it's going really, really good? Because most of the time, whenever I'm talking to women, it's not.
I want to understand the world beyond just me. Well, in terms of me, I'm just like trying to figure out the things that motivate me. Like I feel like they're not completely the same as if I were a man doing the things that I was doing. It's a little bit complicated to explain. I'm also like just fascinated with you and watching your videos. So I've kind of been on a roll with watching a lot of your videos. So
what about my content fascinates you?
The red pill ideology fascinates me, and the way you personally presented, and the way Rolo does as well. It's you totally believe what you're saying, and you're not coming from a hateful place, and you seem completely reasonable, and like you seem like somebody that I can disagree with you and still talk to you about this. And I was curious where this conversation would lead. Oh, and something else I really wanted to bring up. Do you know Alexander Grace?
Yes, I've heard of him.
Okay, so there was a video that he made once where like 2 years ago, where he was asking the question of, can the red pill ideology go too far? And he was saying he would like to have that conversation with somebody like Rolo or like you, and then you responded as in like, okay, let's possibly talk about this. Like it seemed like you guys were setting up to have a video about that, and like I think he would be a much better debater and much more comfortable doing that on YouTube than I would. And that never happened, and I'm curious why not, because I think that would be great.
I never got an invite from him to talk about anything.
Okay, it was part of the video, so, and perhaps he didn't email you, but that's something I would like to see. Maybe other people would like to see that as well. I can send you the video.
I'm totally open to talking to other people about different ideas. I mean, I always tell guys, and I've been more vocal about a lot more lately now, is like, if you have a better solution to something that I've talked about, then let me know what it is, right? I mean, is there something that you disagree with me on? Categorically, like, is there something that's offside? Because I'm trying to get my head around the origin of the email, right?
I disagree with the fact that everything you believe about women, I'm sure it's true to some extent. You seem to believe it's true predominantly, and I don't know what that's based on.
Okay, so what's not true that I've said then? So why don't we start with that?
So basically, you feel that women in general, like they're always like even when they're settled in a relationship, married, so on, that it seems like you're saying that most of them, like 99% of them or more, are always open to the bigger, better deal. So they're not truly, like, they're not really committed for life. They're not truly loyal.
Well, correct. I mean, you read my book, so I mean, you got the piece of data from it where I was talking about how they collected surveys from women on backup plans, and more than 50% of women in relationships have a backup plan ready to go if their marriage doesn't work out.
So it could be the marriage could not work out for a variety of reasons. Their husband could break up with them. They can come to a place like...
women leave marriages like 80-90% of the time. It's not men leaving women, it's women leaving men, though.
Okay,
like, so if you look at the divorce filing stats, it's women that are the plaintiffs that are initiating these actual divorces with men. It's not men leaving women. So
we're looking at the United States and Canada, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying 100% of women are going to act all the time, but on a balance of probabilities, if they have the opportunity to move from one guy to another guy that's a better choice, and there's not going to be a lot of collateral damage, women are more likely than men to do that very, very quickly and very easily without remorse, you know, at whatever expense, you know, comes at the dude's cost.
Okay, so do you think that the thought process that leads them to leaving the guy is like something not bad, like from their point of view, it's not bad intentions. From their point of view, it's something that they want, and then they come up with a reason why the person they're with is a bad person, and like truly believe that. Do you think that's what happens?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. When I don't care who the guy is. I mean, if he's straight, okay? If he's walking down the street and there's a gorgeous woman walking the other way with giant boobs, he's going to look at her. Okay? That's what men do. In fact, women will probably do the same thing too because it stands out, you know? But the fact remains that women are hypergamous, men are not. That doesn't mean all women are going to leave. Like I said earlier in the cast, I don't know if you heard it when I was reading your email, but one of the things my colleague said back in the early days of before the train wreck, Sean Smith, would often talk about how he saw women in his clinical practice jump through tremendous hoops, like heroic hoops, to try to save the marriage. And one of the things that I followed up with him to challenge that a little bit, it was, okay, how did these women look? You know, if they were married for 12 years and they had 3 kids, were they attractive? Did they become obese? Did they have the option to leave the marriage? Did they have the the financial resources to leave the marriage? I knew one couple, this is about 8 or 9 years ago. They were a friend of this woman that I was dating, and her husband was clinically depressed all the time. Like, he would go upstairs and lock himself in a room and never leave. And like, she hated it. Okay. She was so pissed off being in that marriage. She was so let down. She was expecting so much more, but she didn't have the ability to leave that marriage because, 1, they didn't have any money. 2, she was not attractive at all. Like, she was at the bottom of the sexual marketplace. So she never left. You know, she just put up with it. So she has to have the capacity, in my view, to be able to leave that and move to something better. So that's an underlying notion of hypergamy, but it's just there. You know, it's part of the firmware with women.
Okay, do you think men do an equivalent thing, in terms of if they have an opportunity, I guess, to either cheat or just get divorced?
Is to move up to a higher socioeconomic status. Like, women tend to bang up on the socioeconomic scale. Men never like pick women based on their success. Like I said in my book, men are success objects, women are beauty objects, right? So men will sleep with beautiful women. It doesn't matter how much money she makes. It doesn't matter. Like, he could be making $500,000 a year and he'll get with a $40,000 a year hairdresser. Like, they don't make distinctions, but a $40,000 a year hairdresser is going to want that rich guy. She's not going to want to be with the guy that's on welfare.
Okay. Do you think that, I see what you're saying. So do you think most men, given the opportunity to cheat on their wives, their LTRs, will cheat?
Most men men's sexual strategy is unlimited access to unlimited women. So why wouldn't they cheat?
Okay. So you feel...
I'm not saying that they all would, but that's what they want.
Yeah. I guess you just put men and women on like the same moral level with me. Like, the guys, the women, given the opportunity, you think, to get a bigger, better deal, would go for the bigger, better deal, and the guys, given the opportunity to cheat, which would devastate the woman that they're with, would do that. Well,
men and women cheat for different reasons. You know what the reasons are, right?
The women cheat in order to find a guy to be their next person, like in order to.
Well, why don't we handle it this way? Like, men and women get jealous for different reasons. Did you know that?
Yes.
And what are the reasons that they get jealous for?
So a man would get jealous if his woman sleeps with somebody, actually has sex with them, and a woman would get jealous if her man has an emotional attachment to somebody.
Do you know why that is?
Evolutionary reasons. A man wants to make sure that the kids are his, and the woman wants to make sure she holds on to the resources.
Good. So we're getting somewhere. So you understand that there are distinct differences between men and women in the sexual strategies, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're not really in disagreement. You're just saying, things that you've drawn conclusions on because you don't like the way that I talk about certain ideas or the way that I conclude certain chapters in my book, right? I mean,
I'm trying to understand you.
Well, there's nothing complicated about it. I mean, I could take the book and call it The Unplugged Chick and make it pink, but the information in the book would still be the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay.